Yeah, I think it's time to start. We are all in time. Yeah, dear shareholders and colleagues, welcome to the Auriant Mining Q4 2021 interim results. We are meeting under very unfortunate times, and today's meeting is certainly not standing under the best of the stars. I am already now apologizing to not be able to give you a lot of information of where we are at currently, and also not be able to comment on the political situations, but I will say a couple of words about the overall situation here in Russia and at our Russian operation a bit later during the presentation. For now, I would kindly ask you all to focus on the numbers and information we have prepared for you in our normal way and way of presentation as in the past. Today, together with me is again my CFO, which you already know, Vladimir Vorushkin, and Piotr Kustikov. So, as usually, we have a Zoom call with you for approximately 20 minutes plus. Your microphones are muted and the questions have to be asked through the chat facility. I would like to give you the agenda of the 12 months for the interim report. There is the production and its KPIs, which Piotr will present, the sales update from Vladimir, the financials from Vladimir, and as I already mentioned, the outlook from myself. So let's rightly dive into it. Piotr, the word is yours.
Thank you, Danila. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Let me present Tardan's annual gold production results of year 2021. Within the 12 months, 428,000 tons of ore were processed through the CIL plant, compared to 394,000 tons in the previous year. The increase driven mainly by high technical availability of the plant equipment, which allowed us to keep up the throughput as high as 53 tons per hour, which is considered as a good result. The gold grades in the processed ore was estimated at 2.30 grams per ton, compared to 2.66 grams per ton in the previous year. As it was reported before, in the beginning of 2020, our feed grade was higher because we fed the CIL plant with available high-grade ore. So the average grade reported in the 12 months of 2021 was a bit lower compared to 2020, but was exactly in line with the company's production plan. As you also can see on the slide, the recovery rate amounted to 91.2%. This means that the actual recovery in this year was high again, despite some insignificant decrease in the Q4, which was caused by a different type of ore we faced at the deep levels of Pravobережный. But processing of it was fully under control. The mentioned decrease was not an issue for the company to achieve and even exceed the targeted recovery rate. All this resulted to 893 kilograms of gold produced in 2021, which was in line with our production plan. The high performance of the CIL plant achieved in 2021 provide us with the confidence that we will be able to manage our targets further. If we can move, thank you. In regards to our set KPIs, I would like to emphasize again that we tend to catch up with the waste stripping at Tardan deposit, providing an access to the ore bodies, which then will be our main source for further feeding of the CIL plant. The reason of postponing the waste stripping at Tardan was reported before. For those who are not aware of it, let me repeat it again. There was the license restriction imposed on Tardan deposit in 2020, which was successfully cleared by end of the year. So this gave us the possibility to start stripping, and total stripping volume in 12 months of 2021 amounted to almost 1.9 million cubic meters. That is 106% higher than in 2020, but exactly in line with our production plan. As you also can see on the slide, the ore mined in 2021 amounted to 458,000 tons at the average grade of 2.32 grams per ton. You may remember that our average grade within the 9 months of 2021 was reported as 2.17 grams per ton. So the increase shows that we mined quite high-grade ore from deep levels of Pravobережный in the Q4. Despite it was a different type of ore, we did manage well our processing side of things to be able to exceed the recovery rate we targeted. So in general, as it has been presented in the previous slide, 428,000 tons of ore were processed through the CIL plant at the higher recovery rate of 91.2%. As a result, we fully achieved our production targets, with the total hard rock gold production in 2021 amounted to 893 kilograms. At the same time, our alluvial gold production in 2021 was also in line with our targets and amounted to 18 kilograms at Staroverinskaya, where we started in May. Concluding production results, I'm glad to say that during the 12 months of 2021, we managed to meet our targets and produced 910.8 kilograms of gold. As you also can see from the slide, just a second, Danila, can we come back? Yes. The average cash cost per ounce increased by 19% from $676 per ounce in 2020 to $806 per ounce in 2021. This was mainly driven by the already explained higher volume of stripping and lower average grade. In addition to that, a rise in price of the CIL consumables, some indexation of salaries, and the cost of exploration drilling at Staroverinskaya area affected the cash cost as well. Nevertheless, all these influences were expected and didn't prevent the company to be cash generative, keep stable production, and produce the value accordingly to the budget of 2021. Now that's about it.
Yeah, let's continue with the gold sales, Vladimir.
Thank you, Danila. Dear stakeholders, I'd like to say a few words about the fourth quarter results. I will start with sales. The slide illustrates both the sales volume and selling price effects on Tardan's sale. Tardan's sales volume for 12 months of 2021 is 801 kilogram, which is 92 kilogram less than Tardan's gold production number, which was 893 kilograms. This factor, as well as lower production volume in line with our mining plan, explained the 14% decrease in 2021 selling volumes versus the previous year. The reason why we sell less than we produce is the fact that we treat gold as cash equivalents and sell on as needed basis, thus trying to optimize our taxable profits. The average selling price increased by 5% from $1,755 in 12 months of 2020 up to $1,812 in 2021, thus offsetting the effect of a lower selling volume. If we move to to another slide, this concerns income statement. Our 12-month sales. If we could move to the next slide, yes. Our 12-month sales reached 47.7 million in 2021, which is 11% less than last year. Total 12-month gold sales volumes at Tardan and Staroverinskaya amounted to 819 kilograms, which is 14% less than in the previous year. As already noted, the 5% rise in the gold selling price partially offset the effect of lower selling volumes. As for the cash expenses, they increased by 16%. Nevertheless, using our solid financial position, we launched stripping at the Tardan deposit. Also, Tardan performed payroll indexation and had slightly higher maintenance costs at the CIL plant because of a short scheduled shutdown for maintenance in the first quarter of 21. In the reporting period, one of the positive factors was a slight devaluation, 1% devaluation of Russian ruble against the dollar. It had a positive effect on the group's margin by decreasing the United States dollar value of its ruble-denominated costs. As for the stocks of finished goods, that is fully refined gold available for immediate sale, they increased by 65.9 kilograms, or by $3.8 million, based on the average realized gold price for 12 months of 2021. As for EBITDA, it was $22.5 million, down by 27% versus 2020. The company's financial expenses, represented by interest on loans and borrowings and lease liabilities, reduced by 44% compared to the previous period. Interest expenses declined significantly due to repayments of the VTB loans, as well as a reduction in the average interest rate on VTB loans from 8.4% to 4.4%. As for the net profit, we had $7.1 million in net profits for 2021. Using a conservative accounting treatment, we also managed to set up an additional provision for waste disposal in the amount of $2.3 million. And this was accrued by Tardan LLC for the years 2019 through 2021. As for the next slide, this clearly demonstrates major drivers behind EBITDA changes versus the previous year. As already mentioned, the key factor was the volume effect. It accounted for $7.2 million because of 14% decline in selling volumes. There was slight increase in production costs because of additional stripping. And these adverse factors were partially offset by rise in gold prices, $1.5 million, and increased stocks of finished goods and stripping assets, $955,000. As for our cash flow position, could we move to the next slide, please? Cash flow statement. Yes, thank you. Net cash flow generated from operating activities decreased by $9.7 million and amounted to $17.8 million in the reporting period. This reflects the decline in gold sales volume by 14% over the course of the last 12 months. The driving factor was decline in selling volumes because of the management intent to sell on as needed basis. Other factors were high stripping volumes and income taxes paid by Tardan Gold in the second and third and the fourth quarters of 2021, because a tax loss carried forward was fully offset and used up in the first quarter of 2021. On the other hand, positive cash flows were used to decrease the debt, as well as, in particular, we repaid $8.4 million in principals to our major creditor, VTB. We also paid $1 million in interest payments and $2.1 million in lease payments. We also invested $2.4 million in exploration and research, drilling at Staroverenskaya and Eastern Tardan license area. That's about it for as far as the cash flow position is concerned. So,
right. So now we are talking about the outlook for 2022, and I'm confident that we will produce a total of 800 to 830 kilograms combined in Tardan and Solkokon-Staroverenskaya license. The source of this ore in Tardan plant will be mainly Pravoberezhny, but also the Tardan deposit, where we have been starting already last year with extensive stripping. We will continue to strip in Tardan deposit. It is already ongoing. I have been there last week to see with my own eyes, and it is moving despite the fact of minus 40 degrees Celsius temperature. During 9 months of 2021, 9,800 meters were drilled in the Staroverenskaya license and 4,500 meters at Eastern Tardan. We are in process of receiving the final analysis of the results, and based on the results, we will decide whether to continue to drill further, or unfortunately then abandon the drilling if there is no promising results there. We are waiting for the Tuva region electricity line, which is then basically where we will attach our own line, our Karabeldir KB line from. So basically, there the federal budget has to be approved. And as a consequence of that, we will also be able to commission our part of the line with the local Tuva region electricity supplier and builder. In regards to COVID vaccination program, we are continuing this. We have also built on our location a new medical point, and the prevention at the Tardan facilities continue. But at the moment, everything seems to be very much under control. Yeah. For what concerns the political situation, we have been, of course, shocked and been in a very let's say monitoring position. We have been watching it and don't know really what to say and what to do with it right now. We assess it. We will continue to do so. As you might understand, we will not be able to give now any sensitive information towards you in this meeting, but we will hopefully come out with a press release in the near future to give you more results of our talks with the banks from whom we are expecting answers in regards to gold sales, particularly, which we are doing locally, and also in regards to SWIFT, which might be a question from your side. At the moment, we feel ourselves comfortable enough to continue business as usual for the near future, but of course we don't know yet what will be the outcome of the bigger political picture. Yeah. So if you would have now any question, please use the chat option and we will have a look in your questions. I see a question here looking at the ruble US dollar depreciation. Do you expect significant cost benefits? Yeah, I mean, it might be a trade-off. Today, of course, the stock exchange or the exchange rate went crazy, but maybe the Russian central bank has some measures against it and how to stabilize it. But yeah, of course, for the local costs which we handle here in Russia, there will be some positive effects. Yes. Guidance for them. Hi, thanks for the presentation. Any additional comments about KB investment funding? So far, not. I think we are really in a let's say sit and wait position right now that this federal budget will be distributed and also split properly in between local budget and federal budget, and that we can finally come out to the shareholders with some final conclusion of what the government will tell and what will be the right time frame also, and then we will also be able to discuss the financing side of that. Yeah. And the other question, would an estimate of 20 kilograms of production from Solcon F2? Yes, of course. the estimate, well, we have a higher target, obviously for Solcocon than 20 kilograms. We have 60 kilograms in the plans right now. Yeah, and looking at the drilling results which we had, that should be achievable. Yeah. I understand you cannot comment on the current situation, but would there be a chance for you to elaborate a bit more on whether you have developed any contingency plans due to the sanctions? Well, in that short period of time, we haven't made any massive contingency plans because on an hourly basis, the situation is changing. Since we are also not the only gold company in the sector, I can tell you that we are looking also of what the big elephants, Polius, etc., are doing, particularly in regards to the gold sales. So we will need to understand this. There was some news, and as I said, as soon as we have some factual based news coming from our partner, in this case VTB, we will come out to all the shareholders and make an additional press release concerning that. Yeah. Is there any current financing plans, such as EZ shareholder issue to finance investment and other aspects, or will you primarily focus on finance via existing cash? Yes, this is what we will do. At the moment, no, there is no such plans. As you also know, never say no, but at the moment, no, there are no such plans. I cannot confirm that. Considering the share price is quite low now, I expect debt finance to be more attractive should you need it. Yes. In the case of problems with the sales, how long will the current cash position keep you running? Look, I cannot exactly tell you right now these kind of details, but let me again confirm you that we have a comfortable cash flow right now, and we are monitoring this every minute. So be assured that the company is stable. In the case of problems with the sales, how long will the current cash position keep you running? That is the last question. Okay, I just answered it. All right. Are there any further questions? The next results, I think, Piotr, you can maybe answer this when we will be able to share some of those results.
Well, it's as usual, it's difficult to answer straight away because that's something about geology. It's really based on the results which we are receiving now. So as a base case scenario, we may be able to share some information by the end of this year, something like that.
I think the question is more, Piotr, sorry that I tried to understand the shareholder's question correctly. I think it's more about the drilling results, which we have just been talking about from Staroverenskaya or Eastern Tardan.
Okay, yes, about drilling results.
End of the year, you said end of the year of 2022.
2022, as they are coming, they may change the picture. Let's say if it depends really on the results. So what I mean, we are not going to provide any interim results. We have to provide some a sort of final conclusion. Yes, so that's why I would say yes, we need another year to keep going to understand where we are, because as we aware that Solcocon is a quite big has a quite big area. Same as Tardan has a lot of places to go. So yes, we need some time to understand or to present something finalized.
Okay.
significant. Yeah.
I think there's one more question about the biggest milestone or next major milestone for KB. I mean, as I already mentioned in the past shareholder meetings, we are really waiting for this final confirmation of the budget for the electricity line, and as soon as this milestone is done, we will move all the focus towards there and start building it. As we already also published, we had received the forestry permissions. So basically, we are allowed then also to use the forest and also build in the road. So everything then will fall in line, and it will be a kind of a positive domino effect. Yeah. Arling, can you keep the goal that KB will be completed in 2025? That's a very good question. Actually, of course, with every month delaying, we also would need to delay KB, although we are working from the other side to create as much as possible better timing in parallel with the other items of the timeline. But yeah, if this goes on for another half year, then we would also need to move the timeline. Okay. Well, then I would say, dear shareholders and stakeholders, thank you so much for attending today's Auriant's meeting, and I hope that we meet at the next reporting session already under better circumstances, and that the world has found its peace again. Thank you so much, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you. Thank you.